Let's make magic, people. Let's make magic. All right. So what's up, guys? Today, this video, if you guys are just tuning in, is going to be about toxic work environments and how to prevent it and solve it. So I'm going to give a full big rant for maybe 10-20 minutes first about my toxic work environment places. I just want to talk about that a little bit. People like to hear about my past professions and what I did in the past, you know, stuff like that before I started YouTube. And of course, you know, how I prevented that. Now, if you guys are just tuning in, I save these live streams for like real life coaching and helping you guys. You know, I love to help people, give back. You know, that's my main love in life, guys. I want to help coach people. I want to coach people up, get you guys better, get you guys right, help you find a girlfriend, help you guys get flipping better at life, guys. You know, not just, you know, the entertainment stuff is fine. I love the rap music, the entertainment, but we want to help people over here as well. So if you're just tuning in, the live streams are going to be all motivation, ultra-based streaming. Okay, UBS, that's what's going to be my, you know, tagline for the next, you know, few years of these live streams, which I'll probably do every single day, ultra-based streaming. And then also I'm going to do my entertainment, politics, and reactions on my regular channel, guys. So I'm going to kind of divide the two. Live streaming is going to be for coaching and helping you guys get better. And the regular videos, okay, is going to be for just reactions to politics and news stories and stuff like that as they're happening. So toxic work environment, guys. Let me give you my kind of overall view about this thing, man, because I've worked in many toxic work environments. I'll give you guys like a bit of a rant. You know, this will probably last a few minutes. So if you guys want to kind of skip on the rest of the video, if you guys aren't watching this live, kind of skip on. I'll probably talk for a little while on this, guys. But just starting off, guys, you know, I used to work many different jobs, okay? And of course, any work environment, you know, is going to be somewhat toxic or somewhat, you know, not for the people, more management, like shitting on the people. You know, that's just kind of how working goes when you're just working for regular 9 to 5, which everyone is going to do, but it happens way more so at a kind of a job without a degree, okay? When you have a degree, you kind of move up a little bit. Maybe they don't, you know, you work in a flipping bank, you work in a university, you know, you work somewhere that's a little bit more, people are a little bit more professional at work, at least on the outside, you know what I'm saying? Because behind closed doors, guys, you know, the shit still goes on. They'll still be talking shit and piling on the shit on top of you. So, you know, I wouldn't worry about moving up too higher, you know, thinking that when you become a doctor, there won't be any bullshit to deal with. There's always going to be bullshit to deal with at these jobs because there's people in them, guys. You know, and when there's people involved, some people are just shitheads, guys. They're just going to cause havoc in your life, not be for the company's policy, not about making money, not about helping people. They're going to be about themselves and how much they can benefit themselves and, you know, on, guys. So the first place I ever really worked at where the management was just whack, okay, the management was just terrible, you know, was a health food shop. Now, I've worked in many different places before that, and, you know, there was terrible workplaces before that, okay, working in retail my whole life until doing a degree and then working a kind of a more professional sales job, which it really wasn't, guys. I mean, it was just some guy starting up a business out of Dublin selling flipping stem cells and medical products. You know, it really wasn't that much more professional than any other job, retail or anything, or any other sales job I ever worked, okay? So let's get that straight. And this health food shop that I worked in, the people that worked there, guys, and you guys will know this, the people that work there, you know, are amazing, guys. All my staff members I had great crack with, I had great fun with, I loved everybody. It was just the management and like the HR, which we're going to talk about HR a little bit. HR is just a little bit of a bullshit job, especially when they're getting paid astronomical sums of money to basically manage you. It's just ridiculous. You know, some of these jobs are kind of like new bullshit jobs. HR is one of them. You know, unless you're really like recruiting, you know, people or doing somewhat of a good, you know, job for your workplace, you know, a lot of these HR jobs can kind of just be done by the CEO or just by the company rep. You know, it doesn't have to be so, you know, like a full-on job, a full-on rigorous job by someone, you know, paid hundreds of thousands to perform, you know, something that, you know, can be done easily by just a regular, you know, commissioned person or whatever. So kind of understandable there, guys. I understand HR is somewhat mandatory, but just get the CEO of the company to do that. And in this company, they had both. They had the CEO of the company doing the recruiting and that, and it was still good. And he was a nice guy, guys, you know, older guy, and everyone seemed kind of okay. It was kind of like the middle management and the actual office workers that just had no idea how to run businesses, you know. And when you start running your own business, guys, you'll look back on other small businesses that you worked for and you're like, God damn, they really did that bullshit. They really performed in that manner. Like, that's such a stupid idea, right? Like, why would you even do that? You really start to critique other businesses that you worked at, you know, and you're always constantly thinking business, business, business. How is this guy doing his business? How is this guy critiquing their, you know, how are they selling this product? How are they doing this? Da, da, da. You're going to constantly be thinking about the ways in the past that they just completely messed up on, you know? That's how I figured it anyway, guys. So I started working at this health food shop. I worked there for roughly a year, maybe a little bit shorter, maybe about 9-10 months, maybe no, it was like a year, pretty much. Like, I think it was 11 months in total, but I worked pretty much 9 to 5 or like, you know, 10 to 9 or, you know, long, like 10-hour days, guys, which I liked. You know, me personally, and I know a lot of people watching this, guys, if you're running your own business, I do like 80 hours a week. Okay, I just love working. I don't even really like the weekend a whole bunch, because during the week, it feels like you're kind of getting into a rhythm. You're getting into that flow state. So you're kind of constantly moving along. You know, the weekend is kind of for partying and relaxing. And I'm not a big, you know, I might go out here and there. I went out last weekend. It was a good time. But I want to be kind of constantly working on something, constantly trying to achieve something, trying to constantly achieve new goals and ambitions. So when you're on the weekend, it's kind of a bit of a waste of time. You feel like, you know, the weekend isn't mandatory, guys. You know what I mean? So I like to work on the weekend, and that's when I do a lot of my work as well. So if you guys understand, I worked on the weekend in this job as well. So the hours were quite sporadic, okay? I worked 5 days mostly with 2 days off. Some days I had 6 days or 7 days work in a week, you know, because leading up to Christmas or whatever, busy summer weeks or whatever, guys. You guys know about all that. But it was fine, guys. The work hours were perfect. Sometimes, guys, you know, they'd tell you to come in, you know, I would be like, you know, chilling at home, or I'd be in work one day and the manager would say, hey, you have to work tomorrow, you have to work the next 2 days. I'm like, but I booked those 2 days off. Like, no, you have to come in. Like, they treat your time like it's shit, guys, right? And although you're already doing a 40-hour week, they're like, okay, we need you to do 50 hours. We need you to do 60 hours. And I do 80 hours myself. I would do 100 hours myself, right? But when you're working for someone else and they're like demanding you to do this shit, you do feel a little bit like at the whim, a little bit withheld. You're like, that's a little bit of a shit, you know, a shit thing to do. Just pile shit on top of somebody while they're already giving you their all, okay? But hey, man, you know, I think as a man, just putting this out there in my videos, guys, as a man, especially, you know, work is mandatory. You know, me and my brother always talk about this. Work is the one thing that I love to do, guys. I always love to work. You know, I really don't like doing too much else. All I do in my day is pretty simple. I just exercise, I work out really, really hard, and then I just work all day, as much as I can, okay? Or, you know, make business decisions, talk to business people, whatever. And that's good, guys. You know, that's a kind of a good way to live. You know, I'm not like, the holidays and stuff is okay. I'm not a vacation hound. I'm not constantly looking for holidays and, you know, time off, guys. And I know some people don't really live to work. That's fine. You know what I mean? But if you guys like to work a lot, you know, maybe your own business might be something that you want to look into, because with your own business, you'll be working a ton, okay? An absolute ton. But it's very rewarding as well, because all the proceeds and all the profit goes to you. You kind of see your business scaling up over time. It is a little bit more rewarding than just working for some other small business, especially, okay? Because you're selling stuff and, you know, you're helping that guy earn loads of money while you're basically earning shit, right? So, you know, that's how I figure it, guys. If you guys agree with me, man, drop a comment. Does a man have to work? Is it mandatory for a man to work? You know, I think it is, guys. Personally, I think, you know, if you're working, you know, if you're not doing much anything else, guys, you know, it's a bit shitty, guys. You're not going to be happy with yourself. You know, you're not going to feel like you're progressing in life. Work is mandatory, and it's one of those things that I love to do. I love to overwork, honestly, guys. You know what I mean? But when you're doing it for yourself, it's a lot easier. So just keep that in mind, guys. So some of the times, guys, you know, at this workplace, you know, I was selling products, whatever. I would do a lot of the heavy lifting, a lot of the shit that's outside in the cold, the freezing cold and shit. I'd be lifting all the heavy stuff, and that's all good, guys. But then they would say, okay, Chris, you have to lift all the heavy stuff, like all the heavy stuff, like the really, really heavy shit, like that's over like 20, 30, 40 kilos. And I was like, okay, that's fine, but if you're not getting paid anymore, you know, a lot of these jobs, guys, it's like you're busting your ass, but then the women can't do it, because it was predominantly a woman's workplace, which is fine. Like I said, all the people that worked with me, I loved them, amazing. I still love them to this day, guys. But the management, okay, you know, they kind of force you to be lifting all this heavy shit, while at the same time, okay, like the woman can't lift 30 kilos. I mean, that's whatever. She can't lift 20 kilos. That's a bit whatever. But are you getting paid more? No. You know, you're getting paid the exact same, if not less. You know, I think at the time, this was before the lockdown. And I was actually working all through the lockdown. So while everyone was off home, okay, in Ireland, while everyone was at home getting massive checks, 400 or 500 euro, for a full year, I never got anything. I never got anything from anyone, which sucks, guys. You know, and that was the thing, guys. During the lockdowns, a lot of people just sat around and got the 500 euro because they were, or 400 euro because they were off, or 350 because they were off work. Me, guys, I never got any of that. I never got anything. Not one payment, 350, not nothing, guys. Not a single thing, okay? Because it was like in between that time after college, where I was just basically, I just always live off my own wages, because I always had savings in my bank, and I live at home, so I'm like always saving up. Or I have a studio as well, but I have like a little studio that I go to once in a while to kind of do my work, maybe like 3 or 4 times a week. But I like to kind of save up a little bit as well, and kind of use that money to kind of fund myself. So you're kind of constantly in this mode of like, okay, you know, in between working, it was like a month. And I was still working at home. Of course, I'm always doing business. But in between that month, people got 350 euro, whereas I got this brand new job, and then I had to work all through the lockdown. So while everyone was at home chilling, I was busting my ass doing this job. You couldn't hear anything, guys. You had a mask on, and there was like a screen in front of us, and then the other client had a mask on as well. So selling products was damn near impossible. I couldn't hear anything anybody was saying. It was just an absolute shit show, guys. It was a rigmarole. You know, I wouldn't recommend it, guys. You know, people say they enjoyed the lockdown and stuff. To me, the lockdown wasn't no lockdown, guys. I was working every single goddamn day in a shop. It was just ridiculous. So, but like I say, guys, you know, everyone would work there was fine. But, you know, it seemed like the management, you know, had like an inkling for certain people. They always take a certain liking to certain people than over other people. Okay, that's kind of how management is. Like, whenever people would come in, like, you know, sometimes there'd be other coworkers, they'd talk to some friend of theirs for damn near 2 hours. And, you know, maybe I would talk to my brother or my mom for 5 minutes, you know, and like they'd start, you know, the management would start to get on to me. Yo, like, you know what they said, my management, check this out. Management was like, yo, like, you can't be talking to your family for more than 5 minutes. I'm like, what? Well, she was just talking to her goddamn friend for a damn near 2 hours. So it's this kind of like nepotism bullshit, like, because they're the management, they get to kind of dictate the rules, or they're always forcing you to do more. And at the same time, guys, like, I always want to do a good job. I never want to like take time off, or, you know, I never slacked off work. I'd always want to do a good job, so I'd always like push myself further, like, okay, they want more, so I'll give them more. But doing more at these workplaces doesn't get you shit, guys. I'll talk about that at the end, man. It doesn't do anything. When you work your own business, doing more gets you way more money. You get paid actual lots of money, guys, when you do a lot of work for your own business. But when you do more work for a set business, or like, let's say you work like a salary job, or like, let's say you work a per hour job, you don't get paid anything else, guys. There's no like commission. It's just ridiculous. So it was this whole nepotism thing, guys, about that. And, you know, I would talk to people, you know, sometimes I talk to women and shit. I get numbers and shit. I remember like I was picking up girls sometimes. Like, I only did it like twice or whatever. Hey, let's hang out sometime, let's get a drink. And this is during lockdown, right? So nobody could get drinks or anything. So I was trying to like, at least a little bit, trying to get some socializing, because I wasn't socializing with anybody, guys. We didn't talk to anyone. So when people would come into the shop, I'd be like talking to people like, hey, like, let's, you know, you're trying to keep from being insane, okay? Because during lockdown, everybody got weird, guys. Everyone was sitting at the house. And when you're alone, guys, like, people get weird when they're alone. You know, like, you ever have those friends and they're just always alone? They just never leave their house, or they just never go to town. You like never see them walking around town. These people are weird, dude. You know, these are the weirdest people. So I'm just like, okay, I was sitting at the house for a couple of weeks before I started this job. I want to get some socializing. Let me talk to this girl, whatever, in the place. The goddamn manager, goddammit, was like reprimanding me. Oh, you can't talk to people. You can't, you know, you can't get girls' numbers. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is some bullshit. Like, and then this is at the very end of the job, right? Because I kind of kept on the DL for a long time. I was like keeping on the down low. Like, I'm not telling anyone, this shit. But you see people on camera and whatever. And then word goes through. I remember this one time my friends came in, these two girls, right? My friend's girlfriend and her friend. And we were laughing, joking for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, having the best crack of our lives. And when they left after like 10, 15, 20 minutes, the manager brought me into the back room, reprimanded me. She was like, what's going on here? Like, I've never heard anyone laugh so much in the store. I've worked in the store for 20 years. I've never heard anyone laughing so much. I like to have a good time, guys. I like to joke with people, women, guys. I'm a friendly guy, man, right? So I'm joking with different people, And the manager reprimanded me. Yo, you can't be talking to girls on the job. I'm like, that's my boy's girlfriend. Like, how are you gonna be like talking shit? It's in the middle of lockdown. Like, we're literally only having fun because we haven't talked to each other in goddamn, 6 months. Ireland was in lockdown for 2 years. People lost their shit. We had suicide. People were jumping off the goddamn bridge. People were committing suicide. All I want to do was talk to a flipping girl for 5 minutes. They don't even let you do that shit. Like, what, bro? What sort of like authoritarian bullshit are they trying to pull? Like, this was the whole thing, guys. I won't get into about the government, but that was the whole thing about it. You never got any sort of leeway when it came to the workplace. Like, nothing, guys. You couldn't do anything right. It's just a whole thing, bro. It's some bullshit. But they, the manager reprimanded me. She was constantly reprimanding me. Every single time I would try and ask her something, she'd start shouting at me and giving out. I just walked away all the time. I don't argue with people, guys. That's one of the things that they talk about in that book, 48 Laws of Power with Robert Greene. He says, don't argue with people because you're not going to change anybody's mind. And really, like, do you even want to change their mind? Like, are they going to change their whole thought process of the last 40 years or 20 years of working in that workplace? And, they're not going to, guys. So I wouldn't even recommend arguing with people. So whatever, they don't want you talking to women. They don't want you having fun at work. They just want you to be just a drone, guys. You are a drone. You know what you are? You are a robot. Okay, you are a robot. You're a drone. If you talk to a girl, if you talk to a guy friend, you ain't allowed to you're not allowed to laugh. If we see your ass laughing, you're fired. It was just this real strict bullshit. It's like, dude, like, you need to give people some sort of like a sort of a living life. And you see these people walking around nowadays and they're all depressed, bro. I was out the last day and some girl was like, why is everyone so angry? Why does everybody look angry? Why does everybody look depressed? And I'm laughing, I'm loud, I'm loud, I'm talking to people, yo, what's going on? Whoa, what's up, bro? Like, we're always having a good time. People don't like that anymore. It's gotten to this, like, it's almost like China, like, everyone's like drones, like let's just be a drone walking through the store, like. It's like, dude, like, give yourself a little bit of flipping life, Shit was just ridiculous, guys. And, it didn't stop there, guys. Like, I remember one time, I just have stories for days. I was, like, stacking, the shelf with, like, beans and stuff. And that same day, I made, like, €1,000 worth of sales, right? And I was, like, stacking the shelf a certain way. I was, like, doing whatever. We had to, like, stack. It was, like, a retail gig, right? So we were, like, stacking the shelves with stuff. We were, like, taking out stock, putting it on the shelves. And I'm doing this shit for months, guys. It gets a bit boring after a while, right? And I start doing it kind of a different way. I'm like bringing out a more efficient way, okay? It's a more, let's say, it's more efficient. You get more done in the certain amount of time that you have. And the manager reprimands me. Oh, why are you doing it this way? And I kind of start to tell her, hey, like, I want her to compromise with me. Hey, if I do it this way, I get it done faster. Then I can, like, talk to the clients and customers more, can sell more product. Business is all about making money. Let's do that. She just had none of it. She was like, yo, no, that ain't it, bro. Like, you can't do that. Like, you do it this way. They start talking about, oh, you're trying to change you're trying to change the company. You're trying to change the workplace. You're trying to change the culture and the workplace. I'm like, what? I'm like, where do they pull this shit out of? This is all psychological warfare. You guys will understand after 25, you'll understand that a lot of these workplaces, it is like a sort of, it is sort of like a regime, it's sort of like a dictatorship. You can't do nothing, guys, without getting reprimanded. It's like, bro, like, how am I supposed to, so I can't even make a suggestion on how to make the workplace more efficient, more flowy, more better, like, no, you can't do that or else you're fired. It's like, dude, So anyway, guys, that's the whole thing about it. I made no commission. I would sell thousands of euro worth of products some days. Now, most days I'd only make like, you know, a few hundred. You know, I'd upsell people. Some old lady would come in. I'd say, hey, old lady, you know, don't just buy the liver and joint support, also buy the omega-3s, like help your heart, also buy this to help your knees, the glucosamine and MSM powder and all this type of stuff. And I'd really try and upsell the people, okay, even to the higher products. I'd sell them like, you know, hundreds of euros worth of products. And, you know, this wasn't a commission-based job. So no matter how much I sold in a certain day, you never got commission. So I was like, well, what's the incentive to sell more? Like, and the business is all about making money, guys. Like, business, for those who don't know, isn't about getting stock or like being the biggest business ever. It's just about making money. That's all business is. It's a procedure to make money your own way, okay? So the manager was making money and he just gave us the littlest amount of money. I think we were on like €9 an hour, which is another thing, guys. Like, that ain't even a livable wage, bro. Like, I live in a city in the west coast of Ireland, okay, which is a cheap city. It ain't like Dublin, okay? We're hella cheap, guys. It's so cheap here. When I go to town, a pint is like €5, whatever. But like, like literally, you're working for an hour for 2 pints. You know, if you think about it, if a pint is a €5, which I think pints are like €7 now. So, you know, this is only 4 or 5 years ago. So, the shit was just ridiculous, guys. Like, now when I think about it, like, you need to have kind of a job where when you're walking around and you're not working, you know, you're getting paid, guys. And this is the shit about the toxic workplaces. You feel that I'm only getting paid for the hours I work. Okay. Whenever I'm at home, I'm not getting paid. Like, I'm only paid when I'm working. Like, it gets you into this like really shit mindset. If you're paid a salary, it's dope, because the salary that you have, let's say you're a banker, KPMG, you're getting paid a salary at the end of every month. They pay you 4,000, 5,000, what have you, yeah? So you feel good. You're like, okay, even when I'm walking around having fun on a night out, you're getting paid. But most jobs in Galway, or, you know, most jobs are just flipping, or the West, Limerick, Galway, Dublin, you know, one of these places, Cork. If you live in Dublin, it might be the salary job, but in Galway, it's mostly just what you work for, you get paid for. So it's like, dude, that's the biggest flipping scam ever. Now when I'm walking around, I'm getting paid 10, 20 euro a day, 30. Some days I get paid 40, 50 euro a day. You know, if some days I get paid 40 euro and I didn't even work the day before. I didn't do any videos. I still post every day, but I didn't like record that day. You know, I was doing other work. I was, you know, training clients and stuff. But, you know, I didn't even work that day and I'm getting paid 40 euro. I only used to get paid 50. I think it was 55 after taxes working the other job, 10-hour day shifts. And you're exhausted. You didn't want to train. Your health was neglected. Now I'm able to train. I'm able to flip and push myself every single day. Some days I get paid 20 euro. Some days I get paid 10 euro. Some days I get paid 40 euro. Like, it's just crazy, guys. And I'm just walking around, you know, doing nothing. I don't know why everyone doesn't do YouTube. I don't know why everyone doesn't do their own Instagram, doesn't do social media, because the business is constantly going, guys. When you're working in a job, it's only 9 to 5. The shop closes at 10 o'clock. You know, you can't work all night. But when my videos are trending in China overnight, you know, you're constantly getting paid for that. It's just crazy, man. And my whole thing about that is just like, bro, the money is just a joke. When we talk about money, I can talk about money for days. If you guys want to talk about money, we can talk about money for days, because these jobs where you're just getting paid, not a salary like a doctor, lawyer, you know, whatever, judge, you know, pilot, whatever, you're getting paid for, you know, the month. You have like a salary set for like 2 years, 5 years. That's fine, okay? But most of the jobs, if you guys are working a job where you're just getting paid per hour, this shit's whack, bro. Bro, that's not even, you're not even earning enough to flip and do anything. Like, you're constantly working then. There's never a day, and hey, God forbid you guys get sick, bro. God forbid you don't get paid that day. Like, you know, I had to take Sunday off. I didn't feel too well after eating Subway, you know, which I still did videos and stuff. I got paid from 25 euro that day. Some guy gave me a super chat. I got paid 35 in total. So it's like you're constantly just ticking over. 35, 20, 10, 20, 20. It's like you're constantly earning money for the days that you're not working. But when you know, ask your boss, hey, sorry, I got to take a day off. They're like, yo, were you drinking last night? You know, they kind of do this whole interrogation. Like, yo, were you drinking last night? I'm like, what, am I not allowed to have a social life outside of my work? Like, yo, what? Nah, dude, nah, that's some bullshit. And I really start to think a lot about it. I'm like, yo, this job was straight up toxic, bro. The people, like I said, were great. We loved the people. Great time. I talked to girls. It was mostly like a women workplace. Beautiful, nice, friendly. Everyone was so friendly. But the goddamn management was just retarded, bro. It's just, that's the only word for it. It's just crazy. But that's a whole thing, guys. you know, like I said, guys, it was like nepotism. People could talk for a while. I wasn't able to talk to anyone. So my advice to you guys finally is, you know, I just wouldn't work as hard at these jobs, bro. I would just take any sort of extra energy you guys have from these 9 to 5s and just go home, start building a business, just doing whatever. Just start recording yourself, start doing Instagram, start doing personal training, just anything at all to try to get out of that sort of rat race, guys. That sort of shit where the manager's just shitting on you, and the manager just hated herself, guys. You know, the manager had no respect outside the job, so that's why they always shit on you in the job. You know, every job where I was a manager, I was the nicest to everybody. Because I get respected outside of work, guys. You know, I hit the gym. You know, I physically present myself well. You know, I'm trying to present myself in a better manner where in the workplace, guys, no one gives a shit, man. Everyone dresses whatever shit, like, you know, whatever. And you guys can see the people who respect themselves and the people that don't respect themselves. You know what I'm saying? But this is another thing, guys. I remember when I first got the job, they were like, yo, do you drive? And I was like, well, fucking yeah, like everyone drives, right? Like everyone at this work drives. They said, no. Nobody drives. Because you have a car, you have to drive an hour and a half to flipping the goddamn Connemara, like the other side of the flipping city, the other side of the flipping the county. Not even the city, guys. We're talking about the city. That's only like an hour. You have to drive to the other side of the county to goddamn get a flipping to work. Because they had like different locations that I had to work at. I'm like, what? I'm like, so I'm getting flipping reprimanded. I'm getting shit on for actually being more beneficial for having a car. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, what? No, after a while, I said, oh, my car broke down. I can't, I have to take the bus. So, you know, I wanted to work closer to work because ideally, guys, you know, if you have to do a big flipping long trek, like an hour and a half to work, guys, you're probably not going to be as happy as the guy who just has to flipping, you know, drive 10 minutes to work or 5 minutes to work, right? It's like ideally you want to be closer to work or working from home. That's why I work from home. I just get up, I walk downstairs, boom, I'm working. Boom, I'm on the clock. I'm making videos. I'm doing live streams. I'm posting Instagram. I'm talking to clients and da-da-da. You're constantly scaling everything up. Whereas when you have to drive to work, you're listening to goddamn Joe Rogan in the car for an hour. It's just a waste of time, guys. You're talking about listening to Joe Rogan talking about elk meat and flipping DMT for an hour. It's just a waste of time, bro. Like, it's just a complete waste of time driving all these hours to work. It's just ridiculous, guys. So I got flipping shit on because I had a car. You couldn't make this up, guys. It was just ridiculous. I think back, I'm like, man, that was some dumb shit that they pulled, you know? And, you know, I would work literally an hour and a half away from work. An hour. Like, crazy shit. Like, especially when there was traffic. Yo, when there was traffic, it was like 2 hours. It was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I was like, no, dude. Like, I contemplated just walking out loads of times. I was just standing there like, I'm walking home, you know? This is some shit. Like, I'm getting the hell out of here. So, my whole thing, guys, is earn money from the internet, try to get away. If you guys don't have, obviously, a good career, you know, I always specify that. People are like, oh, Chris, you know, whenever I talk about jobs on the internet, people are like, oh, Chris, why are you shitting on regular jobs? I'm never shitting on regular jobs. That's some bullshit, guys. I'm always talking about, you know, these are for people that, you know, want to try something else, guys, that aren't happy in their situation. If you're happy with your job, then flipping congratulations. That's good, guys. That's where you want to be. You want to be somewhat happy in your workplace. But, you know, we're talking about getting out of that situation. If you guys just dread going to work every day, then obviously there has to be another option. Like, if you're going to jump off the damn bridge, you know, instead of flipping going to work that day, you probably should look at other options about working. You know what I mean? So, earn money from the internet, guys. You know, you can't really compare to the internet. It's where all the money's at. You know, I saw this stupid stat where it said, like, the NBA, you know, in total paid out like $6 billion, and then OnlyFans paid out like $8 billion. YouTube paid out $36 billion last year. So it's like 10 times any amount of any of these stupid flipping, you know, pornographic websites have, and all this shit. OnlyFans. They're trying to promote OnlyFans and trying to promote degeneracy, guys. You know, that's really what the agenda is on the internet, right? They want to put you on OnlyFans. It's just crazy shit. So they can like use it as a flipping device to screw you over then. Oh, hey, didn't you do OnlyFans 10 years ago? Like, dude, like, you shouldn't be any doing that shit, guys. No matter how much money you earn, you know, keep your clothes on. You know, just do something on the internet. Help people. Give back to people, you know. So that's my whole rant about that, guys. Hope you enjoyed that, man. My recommendation, just make money online. Try and build some sort of brand. If you guys know jewelry, if you know flipping hats, if you know clothing, if you know personal training, if you know whatever, swimming, try and do that, guys. Try and teach people, you know, teach people stuff. It'll make you happier, man. You might take a pay cut for a while, but hey, who knows, guys? If your business gets to a certain level, you'll eventually start making that money hand over fist. and you'll never look back, guys. I love you all, man. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys want me to rant about next, what you guys want me to talk about next, because I like helping people with these live streams. I believe that it's somewhat beneficial for people, you know what I mean, if you guys enjoy that type of thing. You know, toxic work environments can suck. They'll probably make you hate your life. No matter what, guys, even if you have a great job, the people that work there have to be great as well, or else you're really not going to have a good time. You know, the job itself can be shit, but if you're working with great people, which I've had many jobs like that, the job is amazing. I flipping love those jobs. Working in retail, local petrol stations, you know, work local retail. The jobs can be terrible, but if you're working with good people, you'll have the time of your life. You'll never look back, guys. So make sure, if you guys don't like what you're doing, man, get the hell out of there. You know, try something else. You know, but you have to work, guys. You know, just keep that in mind, bro. You have to work. Keep working your ass off. I love you guys all. Stay free. And I'll be back here tomorrow with some more live streams, guys. Peace.